Welcome to the briefing session of the Forsyth County Board of Commissioners, and this is for the next meeting of the Commissioners. Good to have everybody here, and I'll turn the meeting over for the details of the next meeting and what we're going to discuss to our County Manager, Dudley Watts.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So what we have is a pretty short agenda. We do have one discussion item that just came in late, and so we were going to brief that as a discussion item. If you're okay with us adding it to the agenda, we will. But anyway, we'll go ahead and dive into what we've got in front of us. The first item is a public hearing on the zoning petition of Artist KAPP, Brenda KZCAP, and Jerry STOLTZ from RS9 to HBS, and it's zoning docket F1606. And Chris Murphy is going to do this virtually. Chris, are you there?
I am here. I'm in the midst of sharing my screen. I don't see it pop up yet. So can y'all see my screen?
We do have it. Chris, if you can just speak loudly, that'd be great.
All right. I'm not sure what's happening, but maybe my microphone is a little weak. But I will speak loud and go as quick as I can.
Very good.
This is a petition. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. You're good.
Okay. Just making sure. This is a petition of Artist KAPP, Brenda ZCAP, and Jerry STOLTZ. This is a piece of property located on the east side of Shore Road, south of the US 52 interchange with Westinghouse Road, approximately 20 acres. And this is a request for special use district zoning from RS9 to HBS for the uses convenience store, motor vehicle repair and maintenance, fuel dealer, and restaurant with drive-through service. Here is the countywide legacy map. You will see the F1606 indicated on the map, located in the suburban neighborhoods growth management area, there on the south side of Shore Road at the interchange with 52. This is the subject property highlighted in yellow. Again, you'll notice the interchange of Shore and Westinghouse Road there at 52, and the subject property is in close proximity to the interchange. I would not say directly adjacent because there is some additional property in between. This is the same subject property outlined in yellow on the aerial photography. The blue circle indicated there is the historic KAPP farmhouse. This does not directly impact that, but we did want to show it just so folks knew where it was in case that came up as part of the discussion. Again, this is located to the east of Shore Road, there close to Griffin Road, close to the intersection of 52 and Shore Westinghouse. Again, this is the subject property. This is looking south. The subject property on the left, that's at the intersection of Shore and Griffin Road. This is on Shore Road, looking back north towards 52. The site is to the right. Here is the subject property shown on the Tobaccoville Area Plan Update, which was adopted in 2013. And it recommends the subject property be used for industrial uses. This is the proposed site plan. The canopy and gas fueling area of more of personal vehicles and convenience store is indicated in orange. The buildings that are in blue are those buildings that would be more directly used by the large semi-trucks that Love's Truck Stop caters to. You have tire change building, a washing facility, and pumps, as well as a large area for overnight truck parking. You'll notice there is a berm and landscape treatment being shown along Shore Road. That's what's shown in green. And then you have two access points that are shown, indicated with the blue arrows. And the red arrow does indicate an access easement that would go to the historic KAPP house as part of this, because I believe the subject property is removing the existing easement, so they are accommodating that by including a driveway and an access easement to that house. In summary, it's our opinion that the request would negatively impact the viability of large-scale, comprehensively planned industrial development at this location. Per legacy, sorry, I had a call coming in. Per legacy, quality industrial sites should be maintained for industrial development to serve as economic development and job creation opportunities. This rezoning, if approved, may lead to other commercial rezoning requests along Shore Road and Griffin Road that would serve to strip out that street. We feel like this would result in significant increase of traffic in the surrounding area for commercial opportunities with little economic development enhancement. And the Village of Tobaccoville is not supportive of this request and has submitted written comments and did attend the Planning Board meeting back in November. Again, this was heard by the Planning Board at the November 10th, 2021 public hearing. There were 7 speakers in opposition, and the opposition ranged from traffic concerns, just the general land use concern with noise, light pollution, and concerns with crime. The Planning Board voted 5-2 to recommend denial of this request to the County Commissioners. I will say that the site plan does meet UDO requirements, and I'll be glad to try to answer any questions that you have.
What would it take to get approval?
Excuse me, Commissioner Palala?
What would it take to get approval of this request?
Well, obviously, that's up to the commissioners. You know, the commissioners are free to, you know, it's at your discretion as far as how you would vote on this. Our recommendation to the Planning Board was for recommendation for denial because, again, we didn't feel like it met the area plan recommendation, and the Planning Board voted to recommend denial to the commissioners, but the commissioners can make your own decision independent of that.
Okay.
Chris, a few years ago, it was up for zoning, and I can't remember where the times passed on by. I can't remember them like I used to, but I don't remember exactly how many years ago. It seemed like 7, 8. It was up for zoning. What was the result of that? I can't recall.
It was, I'm not sure if it was this property or the property between it and the interchange. I believe that they were trying to get an approval for a stump grinding business, like with a big tub grinder where they would bring tree waste material and stumps and those kind of things and then turn it into mulch and sell it, and it was denied or withdrawn. I'm not sure which. It was not approved.
Chris, is there a way for you to show that property again in relationship to the Westinghouse plant?
If you'll bear with me a moment, I might be able to via another avenue.
And is there a truck stop anywhere near that property? That's right on the edge of the county, right?
There's a small one at the Royal Hall exchange. I don't know exactly if you'd call it small or not, but it's don't look as big as it's. I don't know whether it's completed now or not, but it had been in
the interchange
construction
is
right there where all of the interchange is going on and the new work. But there is a truck stop there, but I wouldn't call it's probably a medium size one. It's not one of the real big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use that exit all the time. It's about 2.5 miles from the big interchange with the bypass and 52, and Westinghouse. You're getting Westinghouse is on the other side. And there's another company on the other side.
So
it's just outside of the city limits of Tobaccoville. Tobaccoville city limits start on the other side of the road.
Are you able to see my screen now?
I can, and I can see your mouse arrow. So where's this property we're talking about?
Right here.
Okay, so it's the other side of the street.
Yeah.
Or interstate. Okay.
There.
Yeah, the Siemens plant.
Area plan recommends the area of Westinghouse, and then a lot of this area on the south side of Westinghouse Drive, back towards Rural Hall, where you see a lot of this warehousing. It recommends all of that area to be industrial, as well as this area that I'm kind of roughly highlighting here. That's what the area plan recommends as more industrial use. And, one of the things that was mentioned by the petitioner's representative at the meeting was that this is industrial supportive. And while you can argue that, there's, in our mind, industrial supportive is if you have that as an accessory use, a fuel station for your manufacturing trucks as they leave to go to, other places for distribution. There's a reason why they're locating it at the interchange, and that is to attract traffic along 52 and pull them off. So in our mind, it's really a commercial use and not an industrial use, and that's part of the impetus behind the recommendation and our belief that it doesn't comply with the recommendations of the area plan.
But the trucks, if it's a truck stopping, that one looked like it's fairly large in size. They'll be handling goods and all sorts of stuff either from a plant or to one, right? So it's part of the process.
Well, the truck stop itself, this use of a truck stop, basically, they're attracting transient trucks that are on 52, and they would come in here to, take a break, sleep for the night if they've reached their limit on their trips, come in, get a shower, get fuel, get worked on. So it could be construed to be industrial supportive, but our belief is it's more of an attraction as a commercial entity as it is industrial support.
Yeah, it's a Love's truck stop is the plan.
Correct.
So at this point, it's a 5-2 vote against it, and the town of Tobaccoville doesn't want it at all, right?
It was a 5-2 vote as far as the recommendation from the planning board. Obviously, the county commissioners can come up with your own opinions as to how you want to proceed. But yes, the village of Tobaccoville is not supportive of it, and the planning board did recommend to the commissioners denial. But again, that's just a recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
Did the town of Tobaccoville, I actually read the planning board minutes, but you might want to reiterate the town of Tobaccoville's opposition to the site.
And I'm trying to pull that up. I don't believe it made it into our agenda book, but it should have been in the materials that came to y'all. I believe there was a written.
It's in our.
There was. We got it. Yeah, and I read it.
Okay. Yeah, I basically just wanted to provide the high level, but I can be prepared to discuss that at your next briefing session if you want me to go over their specific objections.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful to reiterate publicly, although I suspect at the hearing we'll hear it again.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Chris. The next item is also, Chris, it is a resolution designating new review officers to review and certify maps and plats for Forsyth County, North Carolina. Chris.
To be honest with you, I don't have that in front of me because that was not one of the things, whenever I came home on Monday and I've been here, my daughter tested positive with COVID. Basically, this is something that we have to do periodically as new employees are hired in different places in different jurisdictions in Winston-Salem and small towns. We have to have plat review officers approved by the commissioners so that we can sign plats. And I believe Kernersville and maybe the village of Clemens may have had some changes to that resolution, and we may have added one and taken one off. But essentially, it's something that is recorded at the Register of Deeds they have on file so that whenever plats come in to their office to be recorded, they know who the proper approval authorities are with the local jurisdictions.
Right. Yep. And there is a list of all those people that's on page 2 of 2 in your item. You can see those folks. So, any questions on that? All right. Thank you, Chris.
All right. Thank you.
Agenda item 3 is approval of the minutes for the January 6th meeting. So we'll get those out as soon as Madam Clerk gets that done. Item 4 is an amendment to the Pandemic Response Special Revenue Fund. It appropriates $2,560,630 in funding for the Low Energy Income Assistance Program. Liz White should be on the line. Liz, are you there?
Dudley Kyle Wolf is going to brief this item.
Kyle Wolf is going to brief this item, so come on up.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
So as part of the recently signed state budget, ARPA funds from the state are coming to DSS in the amount of $2,560,630. These funds are pass-through payments to pay households with children 10 and under that currently receive family and nutrition services, as well as receive the low-income energy assistance program benefits in FY21. So the payments to households are based on the primary heating source. And so households with heat generated by wood will receive $300, and heat generated by gas will be $400, and then electric will receive $500. I'm happy to try and answer any questions you have about the item.
That's a month.
I think that's a one-time payment. I believe it's just a one-time payment.
All right. Great. Thank you, Kyle. All right. Item 5 is a budget ordinance amendment to appropriate additional Winston-Salem Foundation Incorporated grant funds for improvement to the Arboretum at Tanglewood Park. And Kimberly Bussey is going to come up here, who, when she submitted this, she was the office administrator in the Department of Budget Management. And she is finishing her MPA, and now she is the budget and management analyst in the Department of Budget and Management. And so congratulations, Kimberly.
Well, don't you think we ought to start by considering a pay raise since she's gone?
You did that in the previous meeting, and so we were very,
Just want to make sure.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon, Commissioners. This is a budget ordinance amendment to appropriate additional grant funds received by the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Forsyth County Center. NC Co-op received board approval this past September to apply and receive this grant from the Winston-Salem Foundation. They were notified in December that they were awarded the full grant amount of $15,000. The FY22 budget, or adopted budget, included only $8,000 for this grant, so this budget amendment is necessary to appropriate the additional $7,000 received. And these grant funds will be used for improvements to the irrigation system in the Arboretum at Tanglewood Park. And I'm happy to try to answer any questions you may have.
Questions? Not a one.
all right. And so I'll just say, Kyle, whenever he has a new budget analyst, he'll throw them into the thing pretty quickly. So Kimberly's going to be doing the sheriff's budget. I just saw the new list, and so Kimberly's been assigned the sheriff's budget.
Oh, boy.
So she's in the fire. So there we go. But
Does that mean an expansion of the Festival of Lights into January?
it could be. So, very good. Item 6 is a resolution approving refunds by the tax assessor collector in the amount of $351.46 for North Carolina Vehicle Tax System. If you've got questions about that, you can see the reports that we have there, including item 10, which is a community services block grant application for funding community anti-poverty plan submitted by the Experiment in Self-Reliance. Generally, we had that as an item, but I think Gordon appropriately recognized that it's really just a report to be received by the board. So with that, the only other item we have today is a Stormwater Matter that y'all have dealt with before. I'll turn it over to Damon. So.
Thank you, Mr. Manager and Mr. Chairman, Vice Chairman. So you've heard this item at a couple of different stages, and so now we're at a different point. So the United States North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services awarded Forsyth County $444,363 to conduct stream bank restoration projects as part of the Hurricane Florence Recovery Act. No local match is required or included. At the board's September 2nd meeting, a resolution was adopted to contract with Resource Institute Incorporated in the amount of $130,000 to perform engineering designing services on 4 stream bank and drainage restoration projects in the county. This left the balance of $314,363 to complete the construction work. On the overhead, you can see that there where the projects are located. So there are 2 in the Germantown area, 3241 Buffalo Creek Farm Road here, 2856 Portland Road here, 208 Harmon Lane near the county's new library, the Patterson Memorial Library, and then at 2706 Westridge Road. So those are where the projects are actually located. Resource Institute's engineering work was submitted to contractors for bid on December 15th, 2021 on those projects, and 6 bids were received. Staff is recommending the lowest responsible bidder on the 4 projects, which was North State Environmental Incorporated, at an amount of $240,833.05. Additionally, the item proposes allowing the county manager change order authority not to exceed the balance of the grant funding, which is $73,530.45. So that's the basic project. We kind of apologize for missing the submittal deadline to get on today's agenda. However, I've been informed that because of the nature of the work, it is important to have the contract approved by the January 20th meeting. Construction work, stabilization measures, and the plantings ought to be completed before April to maximize the survival of the plantings. So starting now, we believe that there's a better chance to have that work completed by that time, taking into account inclement weather we're probably going to have between now and April 1st. So we're trying to get this to you so the board can consider it. So with that, Mike Bowman's here, who's our Soil and Conservation Water District Manager. And if you have any questions, I'll try and answer them, or Mike's here as well for particular details.
So there's money left, and I guess the idea is that we would,
So right now, there's a $73,000 remaining, and so if we complete the projects and there actually are $73,000 left, we don't have change orders to eat that up, we may seek an extension to do another project in Forsyth County.
The woman in Kernersville, right outside of Kernersville, says her road is raised by some creek. I'll send her to you.
Sure.
all right. That's it, Mr. Vice Chairman.
All righty. Good. So we're done.
We adjourn.
Thank you. Motion from Commissioner Kaplan. I'll second the motion. Madam Clerk, would you like to call a roll on adjournment on that? I don't think we have to. We're not an official meeting. Just to do it for fun. Do it one more time.
And we're into 2022, so here we go.